Dave Johnston here with Day Trade the Markets. Just been filled long at the 2202.25 in the Emini S&P. Today is Monday, December the 5th, 2016. So we've had a nice strong open here this morning. It's moved above the couple of our barriers, and we're looking pretty strong. You can see that the market earlier today, after this gap opening higher, had a good rejection of these lower prices here with this very aggressive selling magenta bar. I'm actually going to put another order in to buy another 2 contracts if I can at 2201. So I'm going to put that in there, and then I'm going to place the stop just a little bit below here. For now, I'll place it down here at 99.25. Need to increase that to 4, because even though we're only long 2 right now, if it does dip and get us long for another couple of contracts, we'll be long 4. So it's as you can see here, the market's just had a nice little dip after we got filled on our long position and decelerated, which is what this triangle is below this selling bar right here. So deceleration means that the selling that has come in has done what we expect it to do. In other words, that bar is low to get taken out. You can see we had a deceleration on this bar. It was a buying bar, deceleration above the bar, and its low got taken out. Then we had a deceleration on the very next bar, and its high was taken out, which was expected. This bar, however, we had a buying bar, deceleration triangle on the top of the bar, but its low was not taken out. So you can just see that the overall strength of the seller's pretty strong. The same thing happened on the next bar. The deceleration we had down here, we would expect the high to get taken out, and our high just was taken out. So because of that, I'm going to go ahead and cancel this, because that is just below this dip in here, and that's where I'm going to adjust the stop to, just a tick below there. And then I need to take it back to just 2 contracts here. So here we go, made that adjustment on that, and that's good. So this area at 04 is a bit of a target, a likely area of resistance. I'm just going to put some lines in here so we can kind of manage this and follow along. Let's see, we want to put a couple of these markers in. First marker here we'll put in, let's see, at our current entry. We'll put another one up here at our stop, and I think for the next target we'll look around the 5 area. I have it at 550 as our next target, right about here. So for long from 2 1/4, I'm going to put the limit in at 475. We're going to sell one at 475. Let's try and do that. 475, sell limit at 475. That'll give us 2.5 points on our first contract, so we'll see what we can do there. And then, so we have all our markers in place. Our protective sell stop is here at 2101.50, so we're just risking 3 ticks. And then you can see our first objective, that's where our entry is at 2202 1/4, and our next target is, actually I need to put, I'm sorry, this marker should go in here at our at the first objective, the 550. I'll use an arrow for that, because that's really our next target area, 550. We have one down here, 375, so we hit that to begin with, and a little bit of a pullback. And then the next one higher up is around 08. So we'll just put another arrow in up there just to signify that around the 08 area. So these arrows, horizontal arrows, are targets. The little markers here, the little horizontal lines, are actual orders. And then I could just use this one to kind of ID or highlight point to different action in the market. So we're all set here, ready to go. Everything is got our order in, our stop in place, our first objective. And I'll go, just for the sake of keeping this video relatively short, I'll go ahead and pause it right now and pick it up as the market dictates. Okay, just restarted the recording. You can see that we no longer have an order here, so we got filled on that at 22.0475. So that was a 2.5 point gain on our first target. So I'm obviously going to have to adjust this stop. I need to first of all bring it down to just one contract because we only have one of the two contracts remaining, and I'm going to bring that up to a break-even stop at this point. So I'll just move this one out of the way because we have already a marker on here for our entry. So that's really it for now. I'm going to keep adjusting this stop accordingly. Now you can see that we've had a green bar here that just formed when we got filled on our first objective. That's our third strongest aggression bar on the buy side. The strongest is the blue bar. We've got a couple of them here. We don't have a green. We've got the light green. Green is the middle one, and then the light green is the third one of the aggression bars on the buy side. On the sell side, the magenta is the strongest. Then the red here is the second strongest, and the light red is the weakest. So, you know, just kind of consolidated down here after that first attempt to sell off, and then we've continued up. So we could get some more movement here certainly towards the 08. Who knows? Maybe even up to 13, which is the all-time high here. So, at any rate, I'm going to go ahead and now that we've moved ahead or above, you can see here we just had a buying deceleration bar. So I'm going to go ahead and move my stop just a couple of ticks below the low of this green bar right here. And so I'm going to actually move it up to the low of that's at 2203.50. I'm going to move it up to 2203, and then I'll put this marker in here. So we've locked in 3 ticks here on that second contract. We'll just use a trailing stop on it because who knows, the market could really, you know, keep moving quite nicely. So anyway, that's the trade for the time being. I'll pause the recording and I'll pick it back up as the market dictates. Okay, the market is continuing to move higher, and we've just had a very aggressive bar here, this blue buying bar. So I'm going to adjust the stop and bring it up just a couple of ticks below that bar. And let's see, we got it at 550. So that's, yeah, it's a couple of ticks below the low of that blue bar. We have come up here and hit into the 8 area, 2208, which is our next target higher. So could back off a little bit from here. Next target up is at 2210. So let me just, okay, we just had a red bar off of the high. That's the second strongest of the aggressive selling bars. Let me just put this 10 in here. That's the next target. So this is a bit of an unusual bar because it made a new high, and yet it had aggressive selling in it. So if we do get some follow through from here, it could signal the top, at least temporarily, of this move up. If these sellers that have come in here can't push it and hold it below the low of this blue, then we're going to have another leg up. So I think the stop here, actually I think I'm going to just lower this stop one more tick, 2205.25, which is below the bar just before it. So actually if I put it right there at 05, it's below the last dip that we had. So that's where I'll put that. So of course this is our first exit here at 475, so I'll adjust the stop placement, just put it right there, 2205. So that gives us 2 3/4 points on the lock in on the second half of this position. So okay, so we're just going to monitor this. Once again, I'll go ahead and put it on pause and pick it up when the market dictates. Okay, we just got filled on our crude contract here. I'll just pause for just a sec. I've got to take a look at the... Okay, and here's our gold order. We've got a sell limit in at 1163.10. Our ES is, we've still got our stop in place there. And the crude, yeah, we got filled long here at 5209. I have to put a stop in here on this We only got one contract here so far. I'm going to try and I think I'm just going to leave that at one contract for the time being. I'm going to put my stop down here at 01. 01 is the stop on that, so I'll stop there. 01. Okay. Let's see, we're doing the ES is okay. And we just got to check on the gold. Hopefully it'll pop up here and get us filled on this short trade. The gold, of course, has been very bearish lately. And, you know, we'll see how we do on that. Maybe we can get in, maybe not. But hopefully we can get filled with the two contracts short. Just be on the safe side. I want to place a protective buy stop up here at 40. Let's see, the high on that bar here is, what's the high on that guy? 64.10. So 64.10, 64.60 is our buy stop. Put buy stop 2 there. That's $1.50 stop on that. Okay. And there's our, so the ES is, it did come up, hit into this area. We got that red bar that I was talking about when it formed, which should push the market at least down to the low of this blue bar, and then likely find some support and then have another leg higher. So that's kind of what I think the scenario is going to be here, which is why I placed the stop down here at 22.05 even. So, you know, we'll see if we can get there. We're looking okay on that still. Not sure if we're going to get filled on this gold. Okay, the crude here, it did dip. What did it get down to? It was down to about 05, 06 area. Our stops at 01 were long from 52.09. So we do have some selling pressure in here right now. As you can see, we've got, let me just stretch this out a little bit here. You can see that we've got, this market came up here earlier today and it tested here, could make a new high, and now it's backed off. So we've only got the one contract in here. Thinking that it would come up here again after a dip towards where it had consolidated. So we'll just see what we can get here. It's not looking too great at the moment. We've got a 59, we've got an 8-tick stop in place, so yeah, we'll see what can happen there. Oh, we just got stopped on that, so 8 ticks on that one, loss on the crude. Unfortunate, but that's the way it goes. Still not filled. It came up very close. What do we get up to here? Got up to 62 and a half, and we're trying to get short at 63.10. Okay, well, it still might come up there and give us that. And okay, we've had a bit of a bounce here again on our ES, so that's looking good. And yeah, gold, it'd be nice to get a bit of bounce here as a reaction from this selling in order to get short on this trade, but haven't done so yet, so we're just going to keep monitoring that. And the crude is kind of volatile here. It got down, okay, back into this area in here. You know, you can see we do have a red bar on the low of the day, which is good rejection off that. Now we've just come down and tested it. I'm tempted to go ahead and buy another contract right down here at 05. So I'm going to put a buy limit in at 05, and I'm going to put the stop in just below that magenta bar at 97. So sell stop 97, expecting to get a nice bounce off of this. So that magenta, of course, is strong selling. Last time we had strong selling, its high got taken out. We had a nice move up. I'm also going to buy stop in right here, 11, buy stop at 11, one tick above the high of that magenta bar. So one tick above the high of the red, one tick above the high of the magenta. We'll see if we can get filled on these guys. And I'll have to put a stop down in here. Let's see, 51.90 or so. I think I'll put the stop at 51.90. Sell stop 51.90. 91, so we'll change that to 90. Okay, so we're long, or we're trying to get long at, let's see, at 05 and 11, which would give us an average price of 8. And sorry, I need to cancel this and bring this stop up to here. Now the low of that bar is at 98, so I'll put this at 95. Okay, so our stop is at 98. If we get filled on both of them, our entry price will be 08, so it'll be a 10-tick stop. Okay, so we'll just leave that how it is. Let's see how we're doing here. Still not filled on our gold. And the ES, okay, the ES is now, it did have a bounce, but now we've attracted some fairly aggressive selling. So certainly the market should, in quotes, get down and test this into our support area. Hopefully still above it. But if not, if this magenta's high gets taken out, we're going to have a nice leg higher, which would be obviously a good scenario for us, seeing as we're long. So, but a good development here in the ES with that aggressive selling. So finally, we not only got some selling that capped the move higher here with this red bar when we had it, a bit of a bounce, then the move up, no new high. Now we've got some selling coming in. So this could actually, I'm going to, if we've now got the stop at 2205, 2206 is right here. So I'm just going to leave the stop where it is for the time being, because this is a pretty bullish market right now. And I wouldn't be at all surprised if the high of this magenta gets taken out. So let's just monitor that. But in the meantime, I think we have a good stop in place. So we'll just leave that the way it is. We'll take another look at the crude. I'm sorry, yeah, the crude. Haven't been filled on that, and haven't yet been filled on the gold. So we'll just put the recording on pause and pick it up as the market dictates. Okay, just restart the recording. We just got filled on the buy limit order on the crude here, so we still got that buy stop in there at 52.11, just in case it really starts to take off to the upside. So in the meantime, because we're only filled one contract on the long side, I need to adjust my stop here, and I'm going to put it just one tick below the 98 low on that magenta bar. So I'm going to raise the stop up here to 97. So we're long from 5. And our stop is at 97, so it's an 8-tick stop on that. And then should we get filled at the 52.11, I'll just increase the stop to 2 contracts. But in the meantime, we're trying to get some lift here in the market. Hopefully it can get above that 52.10 and give us a nice little run higher. So that's where we're at right now. And once again, I'll go ahead and pause the recording. Okay, unfortunately, we just got stopped. 8-tick loss again on the crude, so not having a lot of luck here in the crude today. So that's a couple of trades of 1 contract each, a 8-tick loss in each. So I'm going to cancel this order here to buy limit, and I think I'll just let this crude market kind of settle down a little bit. It's obviously been fairly volatile. Sometimes happens on a Monday, but at any rate, that's how that goes. So still not filled on our gold, as you can see here. And the ES, okay, the ES has gotten down fairly close, 550 to our area here. So, okay, our stop is at 5, it just hit 550. So, anyway, we just have to keep watching this. I think our stop's in the right spot. We knew that there was likely to be some follow through after this magenta bar formed, which is aggressive selling. So, we'll just leave that in place. So, once again, I'll pause the recording. Okay, just resume the recording. Here was our stop right here, so we just got filled right there a moment ago at 22.05, and of course we were long from 22.02 and a quarter. So, and this is our first objective here at 2.5 points, and our second objective right here at 2 3/4. So that's 5 1/4 points total. 5 1/4 is what, $250, $262. So anyway, we lost I'm gonna stop the recording here. So I guess we're up about $100 because we had lost 160 total, 8 ticks times 2 in the crude, but we got about 260 here. So net gain about 100. Not a great morning so far, but at any rate, that's the way it goes. I hope you learned something in regards, especially in this ES trade, as far as the management goes, and how we can manage these trades in these futures markets, utilizing the aggressiveness of the traders in particular. Although obviously there's more to it than that, but it sure does help in identifying that as far as where to place your stops and so forth at the optimal position. So thanks for watching. Any questions, contact us at info@daytradethemarkets.com, and we'll see you next time.